Welcome to Content Analysis. Today, we are diving into a topic that has shaken global politics, the death of Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and what it reveals about Vladimir Putin. As so-called diabolical genius, many believe that autocrats who rule through fear are unstoppable, but history and recent events show the opposite. When leaders suppress feedback, punish dissent, and isolate themselves, even minor missteps can lead to catastrophic consequences. It is like a manager who never listens to their team. Small problems pile up until the whole system collapses. The recent developments in Iran serve as a stark reminder that even the most formidable-looking regimes can be fragile. In the case of Putin, the narrative of a meticulous, patient, and cunning strategist has long dominated Western media. He was portrayed as a chess player, always several moves ahead, whose every failure could be reframed as part of a master plan. However, examining his track record paints a very different picture. Instead of a Garry Kasparov of global politics, Putin often resembles a figure whose strategies backfire, an autocrat whose grand designs frequently detonate in his own hands. Putin's strategic missteps began long before the Ukraine war in 2022. They trace back to his succession of Boris Yeltsin, a time when Russia had a clear path toward modernization. After the eras of Gorbachev and Yeltsin, there were opportunities for increased openness, market competition, and integration with global market steps that could have made Russia richer, more innovative, and more influential. Instead, Putin chose repression over renewal, censorship over transparency, and cronyism over competition. The result was a Russia that, despite its size and population, underperformed on nearly every modern metric. This is much like inheriting a company with potential but choosing to micromanage and punish employees instead of improving systems. Appearances may hold, but long-term prospects suffer. The Ukraine conflict represents Putin's second major blunder. In an effort to prevent NATO expansion and secure a Russian sphere of influence, he instead provoked countries like Finland and Sweden to join the alliance. Across Europe, defense strategies were revitalized, military budgets increased, and deterrence discussions became far more serious than in decades. Similarly, Russia's growing dependence on China exposed its weakened global position, revealing the limits of his influence abroad. This mirrors everyday situations when you try to control others through fear or intimidation. People often unite against you, undermining your original goals. Domestically, Putin's greatest asset was never his army, but the perception of competence surrounding him. This myth of mastery allowed the world and many Russians to believe that he was always in control. However, as in Iran under Khamenei, suppressing dissent and relying on sycophants meant that even minor mistakes became amplified. Crises. The temporary restrictions on apps like Telegram, for example, only intensified regional frustrations in places like Dagestan and Chechnya, demonstrating how coercive measures often generate more resistance instead of compliance. The lessons here are clear. Fear-based leadership may appear strong, but it is inherently fragile. Leaders who overestimate their abilities, ignore reality, or block feedback risk severe setbacks. The deaths and upheavals in both Iran and Russia underscore that myths of competence can collapse suddenly. Why? For ordinary life, this translates to a simple principle. Whether in businesses, schools, or families, sustainable success comes from listening, adapting, and planning, not from attempting to control everything through fear or intimidation. In conclusion, the death of Khamenei and the ongoing challenges faced by Putin highlight a critical geopolitical TR. Youth, appearances can be deceiving, and the most fearless leaders may be the most vulnerable. The West's best strategy is not simply to anticipate what Putin wants, but to leverage the constraints imposed by his failures, limiting his room for maneuver while strengthening allies. This understanding can prevent future crises and recalibrate global power dynamics. Thank you for watching this analysis on Content Analysis. If you found this video insightful, make sure to stay connected with our channel for more detailed breakdowns of global events, hidden patterns in leadership, and thought-provoking content that goes beyond headlines.